waffles, chocolate, and one of the greatest motor racing circuits in the world. We're of course at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for the penultimate round of the OFL Formula Racing League, and we're hoping for a clean but exciting race today. So 4.3 miles around the famous circuit surrounded by the Arden Hills makes it one of the longest race ups in the calendar. 2 DRS zones, one down the short start finish straight into the source, and one down the Kemmel Straight with 19 corners making up this iconic race circuit. And before we can get underway with the race, we of course need to start with our short 18-minute qualifying where all the players should be getting ready and should be in towards the game now. And any second now, we will be in to the race, into the qualifying, into the 18 minutes. Of course, I'm Tom and Pigeon Hunt. I commentate on all of the Formula Racing League races. And qualifying gets underway. So usual with this short qualifying format, as I keep on saying, we have 2 tyre choices for the compounds. We have the 3 sets of soft tyres, and we have 1 set of medium tyres. So we have 20 drivers on the grid today. This is the most drivers we've seen so far in this league. Of course, this is the penultimate round. So 1 more round left of this league that is on PC. And now we can finally see cars going out. I think Mark is one of the first to go out and one of the Ferraris as well. So after a couple of race bans, Ruby is now back in the McLaren. And we have a couple of extra drivers just filling in as the reserves. Yacht was in Racing Point last time, reserving, but now he's in Red Bull to aid Gaming Pass in the championship. Red Bull leading by around about 20 odd points in this championship. And with a good result, they could secure it today over Renault. With an LC drivers starting their outlaps. So Spa then, a long circuit, probably one of the longest on the calendars, especially a very, very long lap time. So you really need to be pretty much perfect to keep that momentum going, keep that time up. Of course, probably one of the longest straights on the calendar as well, not including China, with the Kemmel Straight. So we'll see drivers start to warm their tyres, go on their outlets. All drivers at the moment opting to go for soft tyres that I can see so far. Mark, however, opting to qualify on the medium. So we've seen this from him before. He usually does this just to get a banker time in, which is fair enough. It's probably one of the most sensible things to do. He's ready to start his lap soon. So 15 minutes left to qualifying. We should get around about 2-3 laps in for these drivers. Of course, usually they finish before the time runs out. But Mark now coming across the line to start his lap now. Already people retiring from the session. People retiring from the session for some reason. Maybe they've just had a bit of an accident. Mark lucky to not have anyone in his way. That Mercedes just getting out of the pits in time for Mark to not have any traffic on his run. Setting back DRS now. And I'm on way up into turn 7, 8 and 9 as Shoki begins his lap. Bit of wheel spin on the exit of turn 1 into the source. But still a nice exit nonetheless. And this curve into overs, you really need to run over it as much as you can, but try not to invalidate your lap. And that run really puts you onto the Kemmel Straight, so you've got to get a lot of good momentum to make sure you're not losing any lap time so far. And a 30.2 for the first sector. Nice use of inside curb on turn 7, going into turn 8, and Adam sitting on the curb of turn 9, getting in the way of Shoki's lap. So he'll have to go for another one, but he'll just continue this one as a banker, locking up. It's turn 10. So Mark nearly in this lap, sitting at 117 flat as his second sector time. Shoki going through pull on in 7th gear. You kind of want to keep that 7th gear through pull on just to not lose momentum. If you go up into 8th before that, and if you go back down into 7th, you're going to lose a lot of momentum, and it's just going to ruin your exit from that. Mark around the last 2 corners, around the bus stop chicane, and he puts in a 146.0 for Williams. Shoki, the next one, to complete his lap. Looks like it should be a good lap so far. He should be faster than Mark because of the tyre advantage. Going through the bus stop chicane, can he get it hooked up nicely a bit over the curb there, and that will compromise his exit as the bumps and the off-camber nature of the corners will also unsettle your car, but a 144.2 going around about 1.8 seconds faster than Mark. And Gaming Pals going even faster than that. A second ahead of Shoki. So a nice lap from him. As Chandra fills up the rear in 5th place with a 150.3, so a lot of time for him to find. Hugo Boss a 146.6. Hugo Boss should have a race ban, but he's just decided to evade it for some reason. As long as he doesn't do any dirty races a day, I guess it should be okay. But Shoki with a nice lap to start off with. He got blocked on his on that corner there, out of turn 9, so he'll be looking to improve on that time. Mark. He let me know he has a special race for the special helmet, for the Belgian GP, as it's one of his favourite circuits. Designing his helmet with the Belgian flag, as you can see there, as he comes past. So the top 7 are separated by roughly about 9 seconds. So William Turner, Chandra, and anybody else in the 146s from P3 downwards are going to need to find some more time. So Ivan starting his outlap for Williams. Nice pink helmet from him. So can he get up to the round of the second row where Mark is? There's a 147.6, puts Elon Monster in 6th place. Ruby have just started their lap. Nice exit out the first corner out of the source, and Mercedes just getting out of the way though. So let's see how Ruby takes Eau Rouge and Radion. A bit too much curb on the inside, unsettles his car for the outside, and just got a scrabby run through up to the Camel Straight. Now to turn 7, 8 and 9. A bit too much speed taking in there. That's really compromised his run through turns 7, 8 and 9 as Red Craggle sets a 141.7. That's a really fast competitive time there. Let's see if anyone else is going to beat that, but it looks like Red Craggle is going to keep that P1 slot for now. Ruby going a bit wide through P1, and there we go. Spinning out, losing the front wing. And that's what happens when you carry too much momentum, get a bit too excited, and get a bit too take a bit too much outside curb from P1. So a spin compromising their first lap, sorry. So they're going to have to rush back to the pits now, get a new front wing, and set another banker lap immediately, so they can at least have 2 runs. Of course, drivers are going to need a lot of time to complete their outlaps, as it's one of the longest circuits on the calendar. Your outlap will be roughly about 2 minutes or so. So Ruby really cutting it fine there with the timings. Light Glove's getting a bit too bit happy on the exit of that corner, taking a bit of gravel. Shadow of Time puts himself in 4th of the 144.7, but Red Craggle with the 141.7 putting himself on provisional pole for now. And Light Bloods has decided that the bus stop chicane isn't a corner that he wants to complete. 3 drivers are not currently in the session: Zorian, Lucky Bastard, and Adam. They have all retired, but I think Adam is a raced engineer. So only 1 Ferrari so far. That's Walter, one of the reserves in the league, as he comes round to start his first lap of qualifying. So he's cutting it quite fine to get 2 laps in, if that's what he plans to do anyway. Getting a bit drifty on the exit of the bus stop chicane to start his lap. As both Red Bull cars leave the pits now, you just saw that happen there. A nice exit of the source of water, getting a nice good bit of momentum down into Eau Rouge and Radion. Of course, the top of the corner here is Radion, as opposed to everyone who says Eau Rouge. So far, this qualifying session being dominated by Red Craggle. We haven't seen Sammy set a time yet, but he is starting his lap now. He is on our lap, so we'll see where that puts him. A bit of a compromise run through turn 9 for water into turn 10. Going a bit too slow on the entry. I know we say slow in, fast out for the best times, but water probably not as comfortable with this track as other people might be. As Ivan just gets out of the way. Sensible decision for him. Doesn't want to get himself into any trouble unless he just went wide. It looks like he was on our lap. Doesn't have outlap next to his name. Doesn't have pit next to his name. So I assume he just went wide. But so far, even though some of the runs through the corners haven't been quite great water, with a very tidy lap until then. Going a bit too wide on the exit. A bit wide through the exit, nearly touching the gravel. If this was on strict corner cutting, we'd that would be invalidated. Getting a bit of a slipstream there from Gaming Pass. He's gonna have to move out the way for his for someone on a lap. Sammy getting blocked there by Gaming Pass. Yeah, that's just ruined a lap for him. I don't know what Gaming Pass is doing there. He's on an outlap. He needs to let that driver pass. I assume he wants track position. Sammy's smart of him to go back into the pits, dive and get another set of tyres on. But he will probably only have 1 lap now. Water puts himself into the top 10 with a 146.9. Nice tidy lap from him. And Lightbloods has put himself up into P4. So moving the 2 Williams drivers down. Hugo Boss also in P8, King of Time for AlphaTauri in P9. He's not the lead AlphaTauri at the moment, which we have seen from him before. But yeah, Sammy's lap getting blocked by Gaming Pass. Gaming Pass screaming about lap blocking in the last qualifying session in Britain. Obviously not abiding to his own complaints. So we're on board with Red Craggle now on 141.7. Really, really far ahead of the field. Looking to see if he can improve as well. Shoki and Gaming Pass are also out. Shoki going really, really slowly through Eau Rouge and Radion. Got a nice tidy lap so far from Red Craggle, using as much of the curve as he can. Bit of understeer through turn 9, but going nice and wide out into turn 10 and then just cutting it back. That's the fastest line. If you try and hug the inside, you're just not going to have enough momentum carrying out. And now coming to Poland, he's going to keep it in 7th gear. No, he isn't. Opting to go into 8th and then back down to try and get a bit of momentum through Pouon. Of course, in this game, using lower gears when you're going through corners reduces the speed, and then it gives better turning as well. So you may see some drivers going into 2nd very briefly and then going into 3rd, just so they can get a bit of traction around the corner. Yacht putting his Red Bull into P3, so it's currently Red Bull P2 and 3. And let's see if Sammy can get himself on the front row where he has been for both of the past races. Red Craggle, let's see what he can do. Is he going to improve on his time? He is by 2/10. A 141.5. That's a fast competitive time. Gaming Pass 142.7. So Gaming Pass 1.2 seconds behind P1. And we'll see if he can improve on his time as well. 7 seconds down on the first sector, so he's obviously backed out on this first lap. Shoki going into the pit, so they're going to fit a new set of tyres, sorry. and hopefully go for another lap to challenge for the front row. So let's ride on board with Sammy. Previous pole sitter here in the league when it has been streamed in the previous 2 races. He's got another car in front of him. Hopefully they don't back him up. That's Hugo Boss, the driver who should have a race ban for this race. Sammy should get a nice tow up through Eau Rouge, up through Radion and onto the Kemmel Straight. So far with 3 minutes left of this session to go, Red Kugel leads and is in pole position. Hugo Boss getting straight out of the way. This is what you might want to see in Shadow of Time and Flying from the session. He obviously doesn't think he can go any faster. Gaming Pass in P2, and Ruby has just dislodged the 2 Red Bulls, putting themselves in a Red Bull sandwich. Ruby with a 142.8, putting themselves in P3. Yacht, the stand-in for Racing Point last race out, now the stand-in for Red Bull, putting himself in P4. Shoki, P5. And Mark with a P6. Shadow of Time, P7. He's obviously confident he'll stay there. King of Time in P8. Light Blurs in P9. Rounding off the top 10 is Hugo Boss. So a clean lap so far from Sammy. Going a bit too wide through that corner there. You want to keep it nice and tight. Using up all the curb you can on the outside of the exit. And there we go. That momentum should carry him through nicely now. As he's about to go into the bus stop chicane. Green flags already breaking after the 100-meter board. Taking a nice entry into the first corner. Not taking too much go into the second. And the exit getting a bit sideways. But let's see what that places him. P2. So 1.1 seconds pretty much just behind his teammate. But Renault with P1 and 2 locking out the front row. Let's see if Yacht can get himself a Red Bull second row. So Shoki, Yacht, King of Time, Light Blurs, Elon as well. They all think they can get a better time. Ivan, Jack Sparrow, Ruby, they're all probably going back to the pits or they're on a lap. And a nice tidy lap there from Sammy. That's nice and clean. And it gets himself up into P2. Shoki making his way through Blanchemont now. And he will be starting his last flying lap to try and see if he can get any further up the field. Yacht also starting his soon, but we can go on board with Shoki now. So he starts his lap. Water retired from the session. They'll be stuck in P14 unless they go any further down. Riding a bit too much curve onto the entry of the source. That's going to compromise his run out of the first corner, but now he goes down. That car might be getting in his way a little bit, compromises run, but up through Eau Rouge and Radion. Bit too much curve on the inside. If that was strict corner cutting, that would get removed. But DRS open now down the Kemmel Straight, reaching speeds of around about 206 miles an hour with the right setup. Down into Les Combes and a lock up there. That's going to cost him some time. Turn 7, turn 8 and turn 9. Nice curve on the inside. Going out and now down into turn 10. Locking up again, but taking the nice wide line and nice flowing exit. Down into turn 11 and getting that nice run out now into Pouhon, which is the next corner. Time's up now, so these are the final laps. Staying in 7th gear for Shoki on the exit of Pouhon. Now to turns 13, 14 and 15. A bit too much speed carried, as you can see, he went a little bit wide. And a bit too much curve there, that's going to really compromise his run. He's on about the same time as he was last on his previous lap, so this is all going to count in the last sector now. Ivan, Elon and William Turner, they've all finished their times. Through Pouhon now, through turn 18. Let's see what this bus stop chicane is like. This is where all of his time is going to be made up, braking just past the 100-meter board. And a bit too much curve on the inside. Has that just invalidated his lap a bit sideways on the exit of the last corner. Where's that going to put him? It's going to put him in P6. Yacht has also retired from the session, so it's not going to be an all Red Bull second row. Ruby managing to split the 2 Red Bulls. as Mark now. He's the only one who can do anything. He's about 8/800ths of his previous time in Sector 1. Let's see what his Sector 2 time is going to be like, taking too much curve on the inside and 1.5 seconds away. He's not going to improve. So from everyone down, it's pretty much set in stone. Mark is in P7. So it's going to be an all Renault front row for this race. Gaming Pass in P3. Ruby in P4, splitting those two Red Bulls in the McLaren. Yacht in P5 now, the stand-in for Red Bull. Shogi in P6, Mark in P7. The two AlphaTauris lining up in P8 and P9, and Light Blurs rounding out the top 10. Yeah, Hugo Boss doesn't have any time to complete a lap, so that pretty much should be it for qualifying. And that's the thing with some of these rules, is that they allow you to do the outlap. If you go on strict rules, they don't allow you to do the outlap, but that's what I've experienced anyway. And this is completely different settings of this league. So there isn't much separating the drivers between P2 and P4. Only 2/10ths all around. And actually 5/10ths separating P2 to P6. So that part of the racetrack should be fairly busy. As well as around about from P8 to around about P11, around about the same lap times there. Mark might getting involved in there as well. So 3 seconds remaining left for this session. And that's qualifying finished. So an all Renault front row for this Belgian Grand Prix, for this penultimate round of the OFL Formula Racing League. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back for the race very shortly. With a turn of events, it's now wet weather. So we should be starting 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go for the penultimate race of the Formula Racing League. The first Renault gets away cleanly, although there's a crash in the back. The AlphaTauri hasn't gotten away well. And Gaming Pass up the inside of Sammy into the first corner, into the source. Now who's got the better exit here? Virtual safety car already. And there's already been some penalties. Look at all that carnage in the back there. But Craggle away cleanly as well. Gaming Pass up a position as well. And Ruby keeping their P4. Yacht in P5 as well. Mark in P6 too. So Mark making up 1 place. Shoki obviously losing 1. As the virtual safety car is still out. Penalties being served. And penalties being given out. Shadow of Time has been disqualified from the session. Hugo Boss has retired. But a clean getaway for the first 2 cars, as now the virtual safety car has been lifted and Sammy's caught advantage of it. On the inside of Gaming Pass, is he going to make the move stick? Not quite getting past, has the traction through turn 10 on those wet tyres and just getting it done. A bit wide on the exit, but Sammy, he's got a lot of work to do now to gain that place back. Ruby F1 under pressure now as Shoki makes a move onto Mark. This battle here, as Shoki gets squeezed out by Mark. A lovely fair move there from Mark, getting up into P6 again. Shoki going wide through P1. So this battle is going to be one to watch. P5, P6 and P7 all fairly close together. As Shoki's looking to get time back on Mark and that position back as well. Further up the front, however, Sammy is starting to drop back from gaming pass. So that wet weather setup not doing too well so far, as Ivan makes a move on Adam. Adam dropping down into P13. At the end of the first lap, at the end of this first lap with the virtual safety car as well. Red Craggle now about 1.1 seconds ahead of gaming pass in the Red Bull. Then we go to Sammy, and then 11 seconds back is Ruby. So what happened there on the start of the first lap on the first corner? Ruby 11 seconds behind the top three, but this is where the battle is now. These 5 drivers all separated fairly closely. So predicted pit stop strategy there. So 2 sets of wet tyres being used, pitting around about lap 11. Of course, drivers not having to start on their soft compound tyres as it has been wet weather. Ruby getting it all run there up through Radion, and that's going to give Yacht a great run through there, getting onto the grass a little bit. Only 3/10 away now, but he's too far away to make a move. Shoki as well, though. Overtakes Bloyd, going to make a nice move into turn 7, into Lake On. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. Unless Mark comes back of him around about the outside and Shoki spun. I don't know whether there was contact there. But Shoki may have been making contact, but he has been spun round and he's back down into P10 now. Make that P11. Lucky bastard. Lucky into P10 as well from that spin. As we get to see the predicted pit stop strategy again. We getting informed heavily that it's definitely going to be a one-stop race. Yacht's going wide through Poulon, so Mark makes another place up. Let's see if he can defend this though. He was quite a way away from Yacht as that move was made. So the top 3 all really checking out from P4 onwards. As Ruby's just spun. Don't know what happened there, I didn't really catch it. I was watching something else, but Ruby spun on the exit of one of the corners. And that's going to promote them back down into P8, maybe P9 if William's lucky to catch up. Red Craggle setting the fastest lap of the race at 1:58.6. Shoki getting ever closer to Lucky Bastard. Is he going to make a move into Lacom? Oh, not into Lacom, sorry, into the chicanes. Lucky Bastard going really wide, but Shoki also losing traction. So into the bus shop chicane now. Shoki trying to get alongside a Lucky Bastard, not quite making it work though. He shuts the door in front, does the Racing Point driver. As Ruby is now in the pits from P8, promoting everyone up a space, and Shoki back into the points now. Shoki, is he close enough to make a move into La Source? Taps Lucky Bastard a little bit, maybe a bit too much momentum being carried there. But now he's going to have a lovely run up through Eau Rouge and Radion. And he's going to try and get alongside Lucky Bastard. Not quite, though. He has to back out, otherwise there was going to be a collision there. But he is going to have the momentum all the way down the Kemmel Straight. Overtake not deployed yet. But as soon as that green, orange strap on the steering wheel goes green, overtake will be deployed. Shoki not making a move at the moment though. He's just going to try and follow Lucky Bastard through. All the time though, he is getting backed up into the teammate. Like Blurs. But so far, Shoki the only one closest enough to overtake, and he's going to go through it into turn 11. Contact has been made. Lucky Bastard not looking in his mirrors. Luckily, they both stay the right direction. But Shoki, it is not easy to get past this Racing Point car. Is he going to try and make a move into Poulon? Yellow flag in sector 1. And he's going to try and make a move into Poulon. That's a risky place to make it. Lucky Bastard going out wide. Cutting across the track, and Shoki had to back out of it there. That's going to put Light Blurs in contention to take that place back around the outside. but not quite making it stick. Shoki just about closing the door. Red Craggle setting another fastest lap. 158.4, so going about 5 tenths faster than the previous lap. And he's just checked out in front 5 seconds from Gaming Pass, but here's where the battle is right now. All 4 of these cars now, so Ivan has got himself in the battle too. Lucky Bastard leading this train here as out around the outside. No, he doesn't, not quite. Light Blur's just having a look at it. But so far, this battle has been neutralised. Lucky Bastard going a bit too deep into the bus stop chicane. Shoki making up that place as well, but Lucky Bastard goes into the bits anyway. So Shoki now has been released to try and get onto the back of the 2 Hash drivers, running in P7 and P8. Lovely running from them so far. And a virtual safety car is out. What's this for? Someone must have gone off as Ruby DNF, so I think that's what that's for. Ruby DNFing from the race. Virtual safety car has been lifted now, so the battles will continue as sorry, I'm just getting it all wrong there. Turning into the grass instead of the racetrack. Elon Monster now on the back of Chandra, overtaking the point. You see that green strip on the steering wheel. He's had to turn it off, otherwise he'll be running back into the back of Chandra now into the bus stop chicane. Is there going to be a move being made? No late dive, which is what you want to see. Better decisions being made for the drivers in this league now. Adam Pitts from P14 promoting up the 2 drivers in the last place positions. So 4 drivers being DNF'd or disqualified. Hugo Boss is out of the race. Water for Ferrari. Shadow of Time disqualified for AlphaTauri, and Ruby DNFing for McLaren. So the rest of the field now is getting into a bit of a rhythm. The drivers are separated by around about a second each, as there is a bit of front wing on the floor, and that's Yacht's front wing is missing. What's happened there? His front left end plate and trying to get into the pits. He collides with one of the AlphaTauris. A bit messy there, and now he's just going to try and have to go all around the long way into the pits. Losing himself a lot of time there. A bit messy as well, a bit tail happy going into the pits. Obviously not got enough traction. Those tyres are going to be super cold. So, King of Time, chasing down Jack Sparrow in P5, 1.4 seconds away. And Mark has about 16 seconds to catch up to Sammy to try and challenge for a podium position. But P4 for now for Mark. That seems to be a decent position for him. Lap 5 of this 22 lap race. 50% distance in Spa. So Shoki trying to catch up to the back of William Turner after a spin to try and regain those positions he lost. Shoki, of course, getting some quiet performances and some quiet podiums, just doing the right thing at the right time. As he's caught up to the back of William Turner fairly quickly. It was 1.3 seconds at the start of this lap, and it's now going to be an overtake into P1 for Shoki. Nice overtake, getting it done. William Turner just having to back out. Nothing you can do about that. Both cars going wide on the exit, but the move has been done and it has stuck. Red Dragon going even faster, 2 tenths in his fastest lap before, 157.9, as Elon makes his way around past Chandra finally for P14 to try and get his way up the field. As now Light Blurs, he comes onto the back of William Turner, struggling in these wet weather conditions. A lot of understeer that we've seen for him, especially into that turn there. Light Blurs just biding his time now. We just need patience here. King of Time, 5 seconds away, 5 tenths, sorry, away from Jack Sparrow. But these tyres need to be managed well. If you're going to be sliding around, you're going to have to make, you know, an early pit stop, and that's going to detriment the rest of your race and the rest of your strategy. William Turner getting it all wrong through the bus stop, and now Light Blurs is going to be on the back of him. And he looks looks like he wants to make this move done into the source. He's not quite close enough yet. So he is going to have to wait for the opportunity. But no, William Turner goes wide. That just didn't catch on the back of the camera. And that means Ivan now going through into P9. William Turner, off of his own mistake, losing 2 places in 1 corner. And Ivan as well, he's gone wide as 2 at the top of Radion. So now this should be a fairly clean battle. William Turner, will he have the speed to try and get onto the back of Ivan? Overtake not deployed. So he's just going to leave that for now. But he will be able to get there if he sticks alongside him. King of Time now closing up onto the other Hash driver, Jack Sparrow, making his way up to P5. So Jack Sparrow having a fairly quiet race here so far. Let's see if he can keep that P5. As it looks like the weather is clearing up, there's a dry line forming. So we'll see if intermediate tyres will be the option for these drivers. The top 3. Sammy is about 4.6 seconds away from Gaming Pass, who is 7 seconds away from Red Craggle. So the top 3 have checked out pretty much. Mark gaining about a second over the past few laps as one of the Ferraris has just spun out. Who is that? I think that was Zorian, but it was one of the Ferraris just getting the all one through Blanchimont. You know, not the ideal way to have a race go for you, spinning out. Going right on a left-hand corner, it was Adam. He's just retired from the session. Nothing else he can do from there. King of Time now all over the back of Jack Sparrow. But can't get the overtake done quite yet until he gets past the start-finish straight because of the yellow flag in the sector view. The Ferrari's pulled off to the side. And now these drivers in Sector 1 in green flag conditions, and they will be able to make the overtake. A bit of a Teahappy moment there on the exit of the source of Jack Sparrow. That's going to give King of Time a better run as he decides to retire from the session. So out of the 22 drivers that started, we only have 14 remaining. We've got a virtual safety car to neutralise this race. So King of Time not on the Camel Straight. He's not going to be able to get the move done this lap, but if he sticks with Jack Sparrow, there are other opportunities coming out throughout the lap. Let's check in with our leaders, as we haven't so far. Yeah, and Red Craggle, he's just checked away. Gaming Pass as well on the back of Chandra, so cars have been lapped already. And Sammy struggling in these wet conditions. He said he had a wet weather setup. Haven't quite seen any wet weather running excellence from him so far. Obviously losing the place to Gaming Pass on the start of the race on the first corner, but not quite getting it back. The race has resumed, however. Virtual safety car is no more. And Yacht comes into the pits from P11. That'd be most lucky best into P12. Zorian, I don't think he's going to be close enough to make amends on this. So Yacht in the pit for a set of intermediate tyres. So he thinks the conditions are dry enough now to make some good pace on these tyres. His Gaming Pass is also in the pits for Red Bull. Is he going to go onto intermediate tyres as well? So we're at a crossover period, it looks like, for the intermediate tyres to start working as well. So the 2 Red Bulls decide to go onto intermediate tyres. A 5-second penalty for Gaming Pass. I'm not sure when that got given to him. So Sammy, he's going to have a really good in that now if he's going to try and make a jump onto Gaming Pass. So he was 5 seconds behind before that 5-second penalty for Gaming Pass, holding up into the pits. Mark taking P3. So Sammy, if he really gets his move on, and if this is a wrong tyre choice for the Red Bull driver, it's going to give Sammy back that P2 and a winner 1-2 as well. So nothing much going on so far. King of Time picking as well, and so is Lightburst. So I assume they're all going to go into the intermediate tyres, and I assume this is the crossover point for this race to change tyres. And now it will be a bit of a struggle to try and get those intermediate tyres towards the end of the race, so tyre management is going to be key here. Otherwise we might see another stop. If it's going to be wet all race, we might just see driver restricting those intermediate tyres towards the end of the race. But running around about 14 laps of intermediate tyres, when drivers are scrubbing their tyres everywhere, it's going to create a lot of wear, and they're going to go down quicker. One of the Red Bull drivers getting out the way of Craggle, that would be Yacht. So Yacht starting from P5, now all the way down into P12. So his race has gone from from good to bad, and now it's getting even worse, being overtaken by the lead car. Craggle not opting to go for intermediates yet. He thinks the wet tyres are perfect. This gaming pass is now on the back of Mark. Mark's still on those wet compound tyres, and it looks like gaming pass has a little bit more grip and a lot more momentum as well. So through P1 now. Not P1, sorry, through Blanchimont now. Bit of a snap oversteer there for gaming pass. I don't think he's going to make the move into the bus stop chicane. No, he isn't too far back, and that'll be a very, very late lunge. Mark now. Let's see if he has any grip on those blue walled wet weather tyres. But gaming pass close enough to try and make a move on the inside into the source. Will he get the move done? Trying to take the inside line, but he does have more traction getting on the exit, and Mark loses out of place there. Gaming pass, however, getting a bit tail happy. So can Mark come back at him now? Up through Radion and up through Radion, as I said, but there's a safety car being deployed. I wonder what this is for. Shoki going up into P5. So this Jack Sparrow serves as penalty. So this safety car playing in well for him. He won't lose too many positions, as they're going to have to go into yellow flag running, slow down and try and get to the safety car queue. But I'm not sure what caused that safety car. Very interesting that it's just come out, as you can see it on the just from the background there. Shoki gets into P5. So 12 seconds behind is King of Time, so Shoki might be able to make a pit stop and get away with it with how slow they're running. Mark up into P3 and Sammy down into P4 now, so he's pitted for the intermediate tyres, so he thinks these conditions are going to get better throughout the safety car, and that actually gives him a lot more life in these tyres. So Red Craggle, he has a lot of time to do what he wants to do. He's probably going to stay on these intermediate tyres, or where were the tyres? No, he's going to pit for intermediates at the end of this lap. So he's still going to keep hold of this this P1. A fairly tidy race so far from him, just checking out in front. He's booked his tickets, and he's booked his tickets to P1 so far. The race being neutralised now. Mark, he's probably going to pit onto intermediate tyres as well, so Sammy will get his P3 back at some point. And I think if you're going to make a pit stop, you're going to have to do it now. But other than that, cars will now be pitting to make one of their stops. Is Mark going to stay out? No, he isn't. He's going to pit in for what they seem to be intermediate tyres, nearly clipping the inside there as he enters the pits. So yeah, race being neutralised right now. So out of our 20 drivers, we have 6 retirements. Zorion being the latest of those. Elon DNFing from P15. Adam, as we saw, spinning around in the Ferrari near the bus stop chicane in P16. Ruby F1 retiring from a lovely P4 that they held from splitting the 2 Red Bulls in qualifying. And now out of the race, Hugo Boss, who has just left the session, you can see at the bottom of your screen, in P18. He had a race ban anyway for this race, so he shouldn't have even been here. Water DNFing at the start, and Shadow Time getting disqualified after 3 corners. I think Hugo Boss being one of the there was a driver in one of the Grand Prix, I think in the 1970s, who managed to race after being disqualified from qualifying and not allowed to start. Lucky bastard with a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Gaming Pass. What's happened here? I assume he's just got in the way of something. But he's a lapped car, so he might have to get out of the way for Gaming Pass to actually make some inroads on Red Craggle, who has just been absolutely flawless this race so far in these wet weather conditions. Sammy in P3, so he is still waiting to try and get that position back, but he will do anyway as Gaming Pass. He's lost pretty much all of his front left wing. So he'll have to make a pit stop, and that's going to be frustrating for him. He's had a lot of pace to split up these Renaults, and that's actually quite unfortunate. The racing point getting in the way and maybe doing a bit too much weaving, a bit too much slowing down to try and warp those tyres. So we should see Gaming Pass in the pits at the end of this lap. And I'm sure that'll be a penalty request as well. I'll be on the train journey home trying to steward and trying to make some decisions about penalties. Of course, I want everyone to race next week for the finale in Abu Dhabi. But Gaming Pass pits now from P2 for a front wing change. And I'd honestly change the tyres, just change everything. Get a fresh set of intermediate tyres, and there we go. His pit window has opened for a new set, and they're going to go on. But he has to wait 5 seconds for the penalty. So it's now under the safety car, a Renault 1-2 Mark, bringing that up the podium in the Williams for P3. Jack Sparrow in a P4 position that we haven't seen him in before. King of Time in P5, Shoki up into P6 as Gaming Pass pits in from P7. Light blurs, making more of that position, but I think that's where Gaming Pass is going to stop falling now. William Turner, I think he's a bit too far behind to try and take advantage of that pit stop that Gaming Pass has just had to make. So a fairly decent qualifying for the two Red Bulls, and they're back down in P8 and P11 with 13 drivers left in this session. So we'll get an indication when the safety car could be coming in fairly soon, but it should be the next lap that it will come in. It's already been out for 2 or 3 laps, I think. And in the game it's usually coded for 3 laps to the safety car. Just taking a drink to try and clear up my throat. I've been speaking for a fairly long time now, but it's fine, it's all good. But yeah, nothing much to talk about under the safety car. I think Red Craggle in the next season is going to be one to watch if he does join this series. He's going to be one to be snapped up by all the teams with this pace that he's shown so far. Being 1.1 seconds ahead of Sammy, who has actually pretty much dominated this this qualifying and this league so far. Taking the first race win in Austria, I'm pretty sure. And Light Blurs has a 5-second penalty for another collision with Gaming Pass. Has he just been incredibly unlucky in having loads of people colliding into him? We'll see in a second. No, it looks like his front wing is clean. Light Blurs with a 5-second penalty. I don't know what that was. I assume we'll be getting a penalty request for that as well. So we should have one more lap of safety car running in this wet weather conditions. Interesting to note as well that that Lucky Bastard is still on the wet weather tyres. And it's actually quite interesting because he's going to be in the way of the start. So I don't know whether he'll be able to go through and actually unlap himself like real life. I don't know whether that's in the game. But we'll have to see at the end of this lap if the safety car does come in. Craggle warming up his tyres. Getting some heat into those, of course, with this slow running and, of course, being wet weather. The temperature for these tyres is going to be gone with how slow they're going. The operating window needs to be around about 100 degrees for these tyres to work, I'm pretty sure. And just while we're under this safety car, there are OFL CSGO Masters League games going on tonight and tomorrow night. And hopefully tomorrow night, I should be joining the commentary for that. But make sure you stay tuned for those later, as they are very interesting games of Counter-Strike to watch. And then the finale of this first season of this league will be next week at the same time at 2:30 for Abu Dhabi. So I don't know whether we'll get an indication whether the safety car will come in at the end of one of these laps. It is usually around about in Sector 3 when the safety car is, when it's said that the safety car is coming in. Yep, so the race control safety car is in this lap. Red Craggle is going to become the effective safety car. Unlucky bastard has another penalty, and Shoki's got a penalty as well, so drivers are just being way too slow, being way too cautious under the safety car period and under the yellow flag running, trying to warm up their tyres. And I think this racing point driver is going to get in the way of a battle that we could see between Sammy and Red Craggle, but these two teammates, they're just going to want to check out, they just want to get these points. They will take over the lead of the Constructors' Championship going into the final race of the season if they do finish P1 and 2. Mark looking to get the first podium of this series being casted online, but we're ready to go as Reiko goes around the bus stop chicane onto the start finish straight, and there we go. We should have green flag running now, a car going wide there. That's one of the Williams cars. Green flag running now. Shoki's in the pits, Adam's left the session, but a nice clean getaway for Craggle and Sammy respectively. Mark down in P3, not being challenged at all. Jack Sparrow going a bit too deep into the source. Mark, he's just spun! So the caster's curse, I've just lost him out his podium, and he's spun, getting a bit too tear happy and a bit too trigger happy on the throttle on the exit of the source. And he has effectively bowled his podium chance. And lucky bastard as well, he's lost his traction on the exit of Radion. So the two Renault drivers getting away cleanly, and that's put Jack Sparrow up into the podium position. King of Time trying to make some time up onto Gaming Pass now. So this podium position now between four drivers, Light Blurs, King of Time, Gaming Pass and Jack Sparrow, they're all in contention now for this podium position. Ivan getting past his teammate hopefully into turn 10, who has front wing damage, and there we go, getting past his teammate Mark now down into P8, and that should be down even further, even out of the points when he does have to pit. That's unfortunate for him on the start there. Light Blurs getting up into overtaking range, King of Time, not quite going wide through P1, and not finding that traction on the exit of the corner. So Gaming Pass, he's looking to reclaim this podium that he thinks he should deserve after getting a penalty, after losing out P2 for Sammy, and he's made a mistake on the exit of one of the corners, and he's just spun around. He's lost his podium, and Jack Sparrow now, he's secured it so far. King of Time next one to try and challenge for it. I've been cursing every single driver so far. I've been saying they'll get a podium. Red Craig was setting the fastest lap of the race. I've been saying drivers will get podiums, and then as soon as I say that, they start to spin out. They start to make mistakes. And Ivan now also in the position to try and get a podium too. He's 5 tenths away from Light Blurs. As Mark pits for a new front wing, Gaming Pass will be doing the same as well. Light Blurs getting a bit too much curve on the inside of the source. And now Ivan, can he get this good run up through Radion, up through Eau Rouge? Backing out a little bit, he doesn't want to make a mistake now. He wants to secure some points to the Williams team that Mark could have had. So King of Time now, he has 3 seconds to make up onto Jack Sparrow if he wants to get a podium. If he wants to take the final podium spot, that P3 spot in this race, which has belonged to 2 other drivers so far before I've commentator cursed it. So Gaming Paz and Mark now in the fighting for the last point paying position, sorry. Yeah, Light Blood's also catching up to the Alpha Tauri of King of Time. Ivan sort of backed off, he's lost some time as well. So Ivan was in the heat of that battle, but he doesn't look to be any more Light Blood, just trying to get away from him as fast as he can and try and take P4. King of Time securing around about 3 tenths on Jack Sparrow in the first couple of sectors. So hopefully he can make some inroads on him. Red Buckle just going faster and faster as the race goes on. It's been 3 laps of green flag running. He's already 7 seconds, nearly 8 seconds now ahead of Sammy. As Ivan still starts to close onto the back of the racing point. So these 3 cars are going to try and catch up and overwhelm Jack Sparrow in P3. But so far he looks to be faster than King of Time through Sector 3. The King of Time, he's going to have to make his time up elsewhere. Shoki getting past Yacht, but Yacht's gone into the pits. Does he need a new set of tyres? Yes, he does. He's obviously not confident on bringing those intermediate tyres towards the end of the race. So he will have about 7 laps to run on these tyres. That promotes Mark up into P8. And William Turner in the pits as well. So this fight now for 2 points instead of 1 between Yacht and William Turner will get underway. Getting past trying to make his time to try and get into the points, but that's all on him. That's a mistake that he's made all by himself, and you can't really say anything about that. William Turner close behind Yacht, who has disconnected. So out in front now, King of Time now 2.7 seconds away from Jack Sparrow. There we can see, you can just about see him in his sights going through turns 15 and 16. Sammy giving himself a 6-second gap to Jack Sparrow. So Jack Sparrow has actually done really well in these wet weather conditions. They really are suiting him. But Red Craggle, as he's finding that trial line, he just goes faster and faster at 154.1. He's just checked away out in front. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Something's gone on here. He'll try and find it. That's Mark. So he's going slowly. He might have spun round as a driver, the hash driver, William Turner. Tries to go at the inside. You can just see a bit of blue sky coming through. So maybe we will see a little bit of dry weather running. And that can bring some cars back in contention. I think Gaming Pass really needs a safety car. Speaking of Gaming Pass, he's now about 1 second away from William Turner making up that time. As they go wide through the last couple of corners, William Turner getting a bit too tail happy, and that's just going to give Gaming Pass P9. And now Gaming Pass has Mark next in his sights, but that's pretty much all he's going to try and be able to. That's all he's going to be able to get without a safety car, unless he manages to make up 15 seconds on Shoki. So Gaming Pass now eyeing up Mark in his sights. Of course, Mark having a special helmet for this race, I've already mentioned. And this battle here between P4, 5 and 6, as Mark's just retired from the session. I think he might have given up, to be honest with you, but I'm not sure what that was. Everything seems to happen just about as we go away from it. But Light Blur's now 6/10 away from King of Time. And I think Jack Sparrow's really maintaining this gap well between P4 and himself. 2.7 seconds it has been for the past 2 laps as Craggle just keeps going faster and faster. So the track is getting drier. We might see some dry weather running for the past 2 laps. The rain has stopped. And in this game, there is just going to be a point where this track just switches and it is going to be dry weather running. That's when we'll see DRS being enabled. But for now, this battle between Light Blur's Ivan and King of Time is the only one that we're seeing on the track currently. But these drivers are not getting close enough to each other to actually make a move. Ivan going a bit too wide into the source. That's going to compromise his run. He's going to lose about a couple of tenths to the back of Light Blur's. King of Time now making a little bit of inroads on towards Jack Sparrow in P3. So 5 laps remaining now, and I think he might be able to keep this held if he keeps at the pace he is at. So King of Time, a bit worse for wear during the 3rd sector. That's where Jack Sparrow makes most of his time up on the 3 drivers behind him. And the 3 drivers behind him also separated by 1.2 seconds respectively. Ivan now just breaking back into that 1 second mark. So strategy interesting for this race really. Only 1 set of tyres needs to be changed onto the car. And that has been the intermediate tyres. So the pit stop predictions at the start of the race did say that it would be around about lap 11. We saw cars pitting as early as lap 6 and lap 5. And actually that safety car brought them right back into contention. It pretty much nullified that pit stop that they made. Making another one as well. So King of Time really starting to eat into Jack Sparrow's advantage. It was 1.5 seconds until King of Time got it all wrong on the exit of the bus stop chicane. Now back down to 2.3 seconds. Yellow flag in sector 3. As Gaming Pass is facing the wrong way of the circuit, he's going to have to try and rejoin sensibly. But he does. Oh, I was about to say he does keep his P8, but William Turner overtakes him back into P8. So Gaming Pass, a couple of mistakes from him, one of them costing him a podium, and now this one costing him another couple of points. So a bad race for him and a race to forget in this championship. This lucky bastard just goes past him, tries to lap himself. Shoki having another one of those quiet races after his spin where he's just in the middle of nowhere. He's just biding his time, mate, waiting for mistakes to happen. But so far the fight is between these 3 drivers here. Ivan Lightblur's King of Time. Jack Sparrow probably get into the mix soon enough if King of Time makes inroads, and he's really going to be gunning for this podium. His first in the league when it's being streamed. Of course, we only took over this league, started streaming it 2 rounds ago at the Austrian GP. You can find highlights and the full race of that on our YouTube channel, OFL, Online Fighting League. Lucky Bastard and Gaming Pass have retired, so everyone's going to score points in this race. Chandra about 2 minutes off the nearest car, and I think the wet weather really brings out the lack of experience in drivers. A safety car is out. A safety car is out for the last 3 laps of the race. 2 retirements causing a safety car, and I think that might be the end of this race. We'll see if we'll get 1 extra lap of running, but that will bunch everyone up now. And if it is 1 extra lap, Jack Sparrow is going to have a really compromised podium. But yeah, drivers in this wet weather, they're really trying to push hard when they don't need to. Trying to create a gap that they don't really need. If you just make it sensible, if you just keep your driving sensible, if you just keep driving normally, then you're gonna finish in the position you are, because everyone else behind is gonna do that as well. Ivan pitting now from P6, promoting Shoki up into that position. William Turner quite far away to make any inroads on that. It's hard to. You really got to feel sorry for some of these drivers, like Gaming Pass, like Mark. You know, consistently up there as the best drivers in this league, and then sometimes it just all goes wrong for them. And you know, it is just silly mistakes that comes with that might come with lack of experience in league racing. But there is one final race to redeem themselves, and of course that will be at Abu Dhabi. And I think league racing is one of those things. Yeah, it is hard to race online with other people. You know, because you're not sure what other people are going to do. You know, you're so used to the AI giving you space. Like, real people in racing, they're not gonna give you that space, and they're gonna fight a bit harder for it. But that also comes with inexperience in other people as well. You know, sometimes the league racing here, and especially the last race in Silverstone, you know, it's a bit too argy-bargy, a bit too many elbows are out and punches being thrown. So Red Craggle in the pit now, and he's gone onto a soft set of tyres. So is Sammy going to retake this lead now? Will Craggle have just timed it right for a set of soft tyres, and he has. So he's had enough of a gap there to get the soft tyres out, and the track is completely dry now. So Sammy, I think he's on the wet with the tyres. He is, yeah, so a bit of spray coming up. So the track isn't completely dry like I said, but King of Time is also going for soft tyres as well. Now, I don't know whether this is a good decision to pit for soft tyres now, because I don't know whether the safety car is actually going to stay out until the end of the race. It will probably go in on the end of lap 21 for one final lap of running. But Jack Sparrow, Light Blurs, they're going to be in trouble if this track dries out in time. But if also King of Time and Craggle, they've got it wrong, if they have, then they're going to really struggle for grip on this penultimate lap. As you can see, a bit of spray still coming up. Yeah, the track still looks fairly greasy as well. So we'll have to see in the next 2 laps whether the track dries out to see if this is the right decision or not. So Jack Sparrow nearly securing himself a podium there. But the safety car has really put that under pressure. Light Blurs and King of Time now, they're going to be all on the back of him like they have been trying to get to. Of course, just closing up that gap little by little every lap King of Time was before the safety car. So the safety car is in this lap. A very short safety car, so we can get 2 extra laps of green flag running. It's going to be Craggle in front on the soft compound tyres. And the track is probably going to be a little bit greasy. You can see the spray still coming up from the intermediate tyres. So we'll have to see if drivers don't overcook it into turn 1, into the source. And it's going to be Craggle just to decide whenever he wants to go. That's when the drivers are also going to go as well. He's going to try and create the biggest gap for himself into turn 1, keeping those tyres warm as hell on the damp track. Those tyres are going to be stone cold, not in their operating window. And he's going to start to make his way now through the bus stop chicane, and we should start green flag running straight away. Sammy, about 8 tenths away from Craggle, but he does go into the pits. So what's happened here? He's going to assume that dry tyres are the way to go, and that promotes everyone up a position now. And it's going to be Light Blurs under pressure from King of Time into turn 1. Craggle has already checked out 3 seconds from turn 1. An impressive gap to make, but now Light Blurs, under pressure from King of Time. Light Blurs, as that track dries out now, he's going to start to lose grip, and he's going to try and defend the inside up through the Kemmel Straight, but King of Time goes past, using overtake to get past into P3, into podium position for the AlphaTauri, and Shoki comes now around the inside into turn 5, into Lecom, and loses it. And loses the position to Ivan as well. So a risky move and a good move. He saw the opportunity to make the move there as Light Blurs. He's lost grip now. Ivan going around the outside of the Racing Point driver Shoki. Surely he should get that P5 back, and then he can chase up to a podium position. King of Time and Jack Sparrow, the 2 drivers you wouldn't expect to see in a podium position, they are there. P1, P2 and 3, sorry. Craggle 7 seconds ahead in dry running. Yellow flag in sector 2 as one of the Williams drivers has come off. Ivan, a bit of an unsafe re-entry onto the track there. Luckily, he hasn't took any drivers out, and he hasn't lost any front wing on himself. Shoki spun around on the exit of turn 16. And we just saw something happen there as Lightblurs overtakes King of Time for P3. And he's got problems as well. He's lost some of his front wing. So it's all happening here on the last lap. So Lightblurs up into P3, P4 now. Ivan, he's in contention really for a podium here. He's going round the outside of Lightblurs, and Lightblurs still sticking on those intermediate tyres. So Ivan now into P3. Jack Sparrow, he's under pressure on the intermediate tyres as well. And those soft tyres were the way to go. 15 seconds from the lead, but Ivan around the outside now. He's going to try and make this move stick, and he's going to have more grip. Up into Eau Rouge. They make contact. Ivan goes a bit too wide through Radion, but he makes the move stick. So Ivan now up into P2, and a great strategy call onto those soft tyres. So the track drying out just on the last couple of laps. Yellow flag in sector 1, and Chandra has spun round, sorry. And now it's this fight for this last podium position. Lightblurs, he's got a bit more pace than Jack Sparrow, he'd like to think. As the track is so dry, William Turner retires from the session. Sammy is on these soft tyres as well. He's going to try and make a late run into P3. Now he's got only a few corners left to do it. He's got to battle the two intermediate runners. Now Sammy, you've got the fresher tyres. You may as well try and make a run for it, but he's slowed down for some reason. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. But it is going to be, for this Spa race, the stand-in Red Craggle for the Renault team. He's going to take the win of the Spa Francorchamps OFL Racing League penultimate race, and he takes it by a storm. 21 seconds in the past 2 laps. And now we go into this battle here. Ivan is going to take P2, 21 seconds behind, but it's still a race for P3. Yeah, and I think they're just holding position now. So it is going to be Jack Sparrow in the Haas for his first podium of this season, and a great strategy for him. Is the Sammy going to be able to take it on the last lap, on the last corner? No, he isn't. And 5-second time penalty for Lightblurs, and that promotes Sammy up into P4 and King of Time up into P5. So Jack Sparrow taking his first podium of the season for Haas, and Ivan his second podium since Austria. Shoki finishing P7, sorry, and Yacht yet to cross the line in P8, and Chandra will be last in P9 after he overtakes William Turner from the DNF. But this man right here, Red Craggle, 21 seconds he pulled out on the second place. 21 seconds he pulled out on Ivan in second place, but what a fantastic drive from him. He takes P1, 25 points, and fastest lap, add that one, full 26 points, but drive of the day, Ivan. Yeah, fantastic drive from him, getting up into P2, and his first podium since Austria. And there we go, the 3 drivers, the Renault driver, the reserve actually, he should be getting picked up by teams for next season if he does choose to stay on for this league. Getting an easy win for him, and I think the pace that he showed today, absolutely fantastic. So the podium ceremony has just about finished. Ivan with a lovely P2 from him, and then Jack Sparrow making it onto the final place of the podium. Here's your standings then for the OFL Formula Racing League Belgian Grand Prix, the penultimate race before the next one. Red Craggle with Renault on P1, Ivan in P2 for Williams, Jack Sparrow in P3 for Haas, Sammy in P4 for Renault. He lost that P2 after pitting for soft tyres, couldn't quite make it. King of Time in the AlphaTauri P5. Lightblurs in P6, Shoki P7, Yacht in P8, William Turner in P9. Rounding up the top 10 is Chandra, and everyone else finishing their race, or everyone else from P10 onwards DNFing. But that is all we're gonna see from the league today. Thank you very much for watching. There'll be CSGO Masters Series on tonight if you want to tune in for that for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Join us next week at the same time for the finale of the OFL Formula Racing League Season 1. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I've been Tom, Andrew, and Pigeon Hunt, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.